Good evening, good afternoon, good middle of the night in Hong Kong. It's okay. How are you all? I got all dressed up to go to the doctor, and she canceled my appointment, and nobody ever called me, so consequently I'm wearing normal clothes. Some very good news today. All of my book, Committed to Love, all 24 chapters, are now on, not just my Facebook pages, they're on my website. They are all there, all 24. Committed to Love. Susan Reed's Committed to Love on SusanMintz.com, the books page. We're having a little issue with the health department article, but the interviews with HIV oral care is still there. Of course, there are interviews on why I wanted to partner with the Palm Beach County Health Department and why oral health for HIV people who are HIV is extremely important. So if you go on the website and you do the books, you'll see every chapter. YouTube too, every chapter. That was what we wanted. I wanted to get every chapter on there. Then we'll upload the hospice book. But the other article, I may end up reading it. I may end up reading the article, and then it can be posted through YouTube onto my website. Hit the light. Very tan. All right, so this chapter is going to be rough. I can tell you right now, this chapter is not for the faint of heart. Oh. Selma. Oh, that's a lovely name, your last name. All right, so I'm going to start. Good news. Everything's up on my YouTube channel and my website, Susan Reed's Committed to Love. All 24 chapters. They're yours. And then the hospice book will be the same. Also, I got very good clarity about what to do with this book, Committed to Love, as I related to the hospice book. I'll be going into depth in the chapters, reading in between what I feel, relating it to this book. It's going to be totally different than me just reading my book in two parts, each chapter. I'm going to be able to take this book and not only combine it with what are the issues that this person's going through, but I'm going to expound on a lot. So this is going to be a very learning, big experience for a lot of you also. So in a books page, you're all done. Now let me take these glasses off. Almost warm out today, and I said, no, not yet. These are my hospice heart glasses. So I hope you're all well. I hope you're all enjoying the nice hot weather in Florida. And for the rest of you, good luck. Chapter 15, and I held their hands with a hospice heart. 24 stories of hope, faith, love, and loss. This one has got to be for everybody. 25 years ago, we didn't have some of the drugs we have now on the street. But pain is pain. You can have physical pain and people may see it. You can have mental pain, nobody sees it. Mental health, it bothers me terribly. We don't have more mental health centers and crisis centers. And then you can have spiritual pain. And then there's pain from relationships, pain from life, pain from everything. This woman in chapter 15 says, pain comes in many ways. But for this woman, the physical pain of her illness was so horrible that she wanted to commit suicide. How's that for a nice, light topic? The pain was so bad for this woman that she wanted to commit suicide. And one of the things hospital really does is they do palliative care. They're pain management people. They're excellent. I mean, that's one of the reasons people go in, to get their pain under control, because the hospice people know a little different protocols when it comes to that. So that's the woman. And I quote, physical pain transcends every other form of pain because it is all-powerful. It can hinder you from growing, paralyze you in the present, and deny you a future. It can hold you back from living or wanting to live. That's so powerful. Physical pain transcends every other pain because it's all powerful. It can hinder you from growing, paralyzing you in the present, and deny you a future. It can hold you back from living or wanting to live. Many of you are going to relate to this. You didn't to the last story when I say I'm more afraid to go home or afraid to leave. A lot of you didn't answer that, but I promise you, you will. If you don't have a sick child, you don't have a sick husband or wife or mother or anybody else, good. Time comes, you have somebody who's in that situation. As soon as you walk out the door, you're going to think, what am I going to have when I get back? Don't skip these chapters, folks. You may need them. Go back to 14. But chapter 15, now we're dealing with pain. August 1999. Some of Jeff and I in here, and then this woman has a story. Dear Jeff, as I write you, I am in great pain. It's not like the physical kind that this woman in the story has to endure. My pain is mental and emotional. My mind is tired, and my heart is sad. I am in pain because I miss you, my best friend. I need your comfort, your words of encouragement, and your never-ending faith in me. When you died on August 17th, 1994, I never thought that I would ever be able to function again. I was alive after your death, but it felt like I was the walking dead. I was exhausted, drained, depleted, and destroyed. The only thing that I felt was pain. It has taken me years to learn how to deal with the different kinds of pain and the levels to which they can take their toll. I can tell you that I've made some progress in handling my grief and loss. I've healed, or at least tried to, gone forward the most of this time. I am somewhat content with my life, yet here it is today, 5 years after your death, that my pain and sorrow continues to trouble me. I cried uncontrollable tears today because the sadness I feel is terrible. I know that eventually the pain will pass, but it hurts to hurt that I am hurting now. It hurts to hurt when you are here hurting now. You've got so many people now in pain, mental, physical, emotional. It's awful. At least I can write my pain out. I know eventually that this pain will also pass, but it hurts to hurt, and I am hurting now. I looked up at the meaning of the word pain. I hope that seeing the words and reading their meaning might help to ease the sorrow I was experiencing now. The dictionary explained about the different kinds of pain to me, and to what degree and what level they were capable of taking control over one's life. The simplest definition of the word pain means physical or mental suffering or distress. The simple definition is physical or mental suffering or distress, especially an unpleasant sensation arising from injury or disease. As I continued reading, it said the pain could be physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual. It was possible to experience them one at a time or all together. The reason that physical pain is the first one that people think of is because physical pain is the easiest one to understand. Because people think physical pain is easily understood. It usually happens at a younger age and leaves a powerful, lasting impression. However, what is the definition of mental pain? Wouldn't it be distress and suffering of the mind? And mental pain, wouldn't it be distress and suffering of the mind? And wouldn't it be just as painful and agonizing to deal with as physical pain? Yes, it is. Physical pain, mental pain, spiritual pain. They're all pain. Pain comes in all these forms, and pain can hold you back. It can cripple you, paralyze you. Just because you cannot see or touch the terror of mental pain does it not mean that it is less torturous or enduring. See the people who are doing these mass shootings, these kids that are on the streets. We need so much more mental health counselors. We need places where people can go. We need to stop this. And the way you stop it is to make sure that the people, the kids that are doing some of this, you can talk to them, listen to them, and if it doesn't work, just put your arms around maybe some of them and tell them they can get help and get them some help. Is that so difficult to get people help before they do something wrong? I've done it. I've seen two people, well, maybe 3 or 4 in my life, who were in such pain that they wanted to commit suicide. 2 did. I was with 2 of them after they died. And it's not pretty, especially when I told them they could get help. And they didn't because they were so addicted to drugs and alcohol. They were in a major pain. So those people that I went through with it, Because perhaps mental pain is too sensitive or private an issue, and many are afraid to speak openly about it. That is today. How many people have mental pain and they don't talk about it? Who's going to listen? The words they'll use for you, the drugs they'll give you, but you've got to get help. Perhaps mental pain is too. This is such a powerful topic today, 25 years later, with the opioid crisis and the fentanyl. Perhaps mental pain is too sensitive or private an issue, and many are afraid to speak openly about it for fear that they might be judged or criticized. Remember, I never read this story before. Boy, is it as powerful today as it was yesterday, 25 years ago. And why should this be? When the feelings of anguish and torment are locked up inside the mind, does this make the pain any less harmful or destructive? Mental pain cripples and destroys the body and the soul. It is also pain that one will do anything to be free of. Consequently, I believe we have shootings because of a lot of mental pain. What is emotional pain? Well, I didn't go into it this much, but I did, didn't I? What is emotional pain? Well, that's because some of you out there are going through all this, and you should know that I'm just trying to help you. What is emotional pain? Does this mean that your emotions are suffering or in distress? What could be more emotionally painful than to watch someone you love die a slow, horribly vicious death? What words could possibly describe the frustration and agony you are experiencing as you stand by helplessly, unable to stop the inevitable? Aren't you in emotional pain when you grieve your loss and will be trying desperately to cope with the aftermath? Oh, yes, you will. How do you express yourself when you are dealing with emotional pain? Are you able to, quote, remove that intimate and personal part of yourself from you, end quote? Isn't emotional pain something that can keep you in the past? Definitely. While you are stuck in the present? Yes. And isn't emotional pain when you are unable to go forward because you are unsure and frighteningly insecure of the future? Isn't emotional pain when you feel the feelings, cope with the issues, and confront the real, quote, real inside of you? And aren't you in the greatest emotional pain when you continually restrict yourself within your own insecurities because you are afraid to risk or fear of losing? Read this chapter for yourself. Go through it again. This is exactly what people today are dealing with. Finally, there is spiritual pain. The pain is the most difficult one to describe because it is intensely personal and deeply private. Perhaps somewhere along the way you may lose your faith in a belief system, or maybe have never gone through one to begin with. If you feel empty and alone and are void of any peace and contentment, then there is no harm in your life, aren't you in spirit? When there is no harmony in your life, aren't you in spiritual pain? Oh my God, yes. When you want to believe in someone, something, or anything, but cannot, isn't this spiritual pain? When you brutally question, demanding to know why you aren't strong enough to believe in yourself, isn't that spiritual pain? And when you do not have the strength to carry on, and when you want to give up in life itself, isn't that spiritual pain? Spiritual pain is the most difficult one to explore, and I try to understand it because it will make you look into yourself for the answers. I had to look inside myself for everything. I am still in physical pain, my age, there are issues. Mental pain, absolutely. I told you around the holidays and times, mentally. And then there's the emotional, always the emotional. I can cry when I see someone sad or being disrespected. I can cry. That's emotional pain. And then there's spiritual pain, which I will say I've got that totally under control by being a member of my church, by being able to have people around me who I can talk to and where I can get fuel every time I go and fed. My battery gets full instead of being discharged all the time. The following story deals with physical pain and how intensely this woman's suffering nearly caused her to commit suicide. Pardon me. She would rather have died than continue living with the endless agonizing pain she had been enduring for months. This was a night and a story I shall never forget, nor want to, because many people more I will meet in my life shall experience the same thing. When I entered her room to collect her dinner tray, I woke her up. She was sleeping in a large recliner with her legs curled up underneath her. I said, "I apologize for disturbing you. My name is Susan, and I'm a volunteer." She said, "I can't keep my eyes open." My name is Susan, I'm a volunteer. She said, "I can't keep my eyes open. I doze all the time." And I said, "Would you like to get into bed?" "No," she said. "No," she responded. "But if you stay with me, I'll tell you the 99 different ways to sleep in a lounge chair." I asked her if she'd like to get in bed. "No," she responded. "But if you'll stay with me, I'll tell you about the 99 different ways to sleep in a lounge chair." These people were phenomenal. I have plenty of time to sleep later on. I removed the half-eaten dinner tray and came back, and she said, "I can't believe that I've been here for a week. Time flies when you are comfortable and out of pain. I don't like feeling sleepy, but my nurse said I would adjust to the medication in time." I said, "Did you come into the center to get your pain under control?" "Yes," she said. Wait, there we go. "Yes." I said, "Did you come to the center to get your pain under control?" "Yes," she responded. "My doctor was wonderful and did the best he could. He never deceived me about my disease. We both knew that I was going to die. For several months my pain was so excruciating that I did want to commit suicide. He couldn't get the pain to stop. I was frozen and paralyzed from it. I felt like I was already dead, that I was experiencing the agony of this disease in my life. I told my doctor that I couldn't take it anymore. He said that my only other choice was hospice. Since I've been here, I feel comfortable. I feel like a different person. The pain is finally gone. I used to hear about quality of life, but when you don't have any, life doesn't exist anymore. I wish I had come here sooner." I said, "What were you diagnosed with?" She responded, "I was diagnosed with cervical cancer. I've been going every year for a Pap and never had a bad report. 2 years ago, the results came back positive. When I went in for another Pap smear, it came back suspicious. My doctor said that there wasn't any cause for alarm and told me to come back in 3 months. Now the results indicated cervical cancer." Be proactive, people. Be proactive in everything. I was only 43 years old. How could this have happened to me? One day I was a healthy, active, vital, and alive person. I had a successful real estate career and everything in the world to live for. I had a hysterectomy followed by chemotherapy and radiation. I was nauseous and lost my hair, but I was able to tolerate physical pain. I started getting my confidence back and I felt like I would beat the odds. Well, I didn't. 6 months ago, the disease spread into my liver and pancreas. I was physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually destroyed. This woman's battery was shot. She was gone. I was physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. I'm repeating so many of this because many of you are dealing with it. You are going through it. She was destroyed at every level. I questioned God, my emotional stability, my relationships, and my life. But it wasn't until the physical pain became so intolerable that I said no more. The physical pain took over my life. It controlled everything I did. My body ached so badly that I couldn't think or breathe. My heart would pound with every surge of pain. When I was in the hospital, the drugs couldn't stop it. There was nothing I could do. I came home and said I would kill myself. Here's a stranger telling me everything. Rather than put myself through this, continue to put myself through this, she would rather have killed herself. I told my doctor and he referred me to hospice. I was thankful that I can fall asleep because I'm not in pain. She could finally fall asleep because she wasn't in pain. Can I put that light on? Yeah, it's on. I'm thankful that I can finally fall asleep because I'm not in any pain. It isn't how long you have to live, but how well you live. I don't want to take my life anymore. God can have it when he is ready. I said, I'm glad you're out of pain and have some quality of life back in your life. She said, please wake me up any time. I'm ready to get into bed. Thank you. We gave each other a hug. Hospice hugs, 11, just to keep you okay. We gave each other a hug, and I wished her a good night's sleep. For those suffering through the constant agony of physical pain, you will do anything to free yourself from it. Some may wish to die while others will take their own life. This woman's story points out that life, as well as death, should be treated with respect. That's a big one for me too. Respect people's wishes. The person dealing with the pain should be understood and treated with compassion. If quality of life is the most important, whether you see pain, feel pain, or think pain, pain hurts, and it hurts to hurt. I didn't know, Jeff, how you managed to endure continuous torture of your body, mind, spirit, and for so long. You stayed strong and courageous as you fought every day for 2 years to live. Until your last breath, you never hated or blamed anyone. He didn't. He never complained. You never said that you wanted to die, and you never asked me to end your life. And I will tell you right now, had he asked me to say I can't do it anymore and I want you to end it, I am telling the world I would have gotten whatever I needed to end his suffering. You knew that if I asked you to, I would have. There will never be a reason why someone's final days shouldn't be free of pain and have some quality. Hospice. When the agony is so overwhelming that someone wants to die, how do you encourage him or her to want to live? When the pain is so intense that life means nothing, what words could possibly make any difference? Perhaps the words, I know another way that might be better for you. You should know about hospice. Hospice is a choice and a chance, and you are the only one who should decide what is best for you. Hospice changes everything, but it interferes with nothing. It changes the living process and the way a person feels about their life. I know, Jeff, that you spent your final days the way you chose. My emotional pain will continue to lessen in time, but it will never go away. I miss you. I'll say so long for a little while. I love you, Susan. Yeah, over my decades, I have been very aware of my physical pain, emotional pain, spiritual pain, and a lot of other pain. But what I meet is people who don't know what to do. They are taking drugs that are extremely dangerous, and the overdosing of teenagers and the acts committed by young people, they're in pain. You can't always blame their parents. You can't always blame the environment. You can't always have a neighbor say, I never knew anything. That's well and good. But when someone says they're in pain and you can feel it, you can touch it, you can see it, the way a person is functioning, just go over and say, is there anything I can do to help? Do you know that maybe there is something you can do? Maybe there is someone he doesn't know or she doesn't think we referred to. If it's not a terminal illness, then there's mental health counselors. Please, in this country, open up more mental health facilities, crisis management facilities. They are so important. And you shouldn't have to jump through loops with insurance to get help. Your life is valuable. You should be treated with respect. I hope every one of you go back and listen carefully to this chapter. I was so intensely reading it that I know I made some errors and corrected them. But this chapter, to me, hits almost everyone I've ever known at some point, at some level. It's real. So I am going to say, it also will help me, as I said, with my book, Committed to Love, my book. When I start reading chapters again, I'll be able to say, I can relate this to this chapter. So I'm going to do a little homework because I want it to be in sync. I want both books to be your cookbooks on dealing with life as best you can. Not the way I did, but the guidance and the education and the information. That's what I want you to be able to do, is get these books, or go back now on Facebook and read my stories, or go on YouTube. Hospice is not there yet, but it will be. And if you know someone's in pain, try really hard to help them. This chapter hit me a lot because I said I've met so many people who are in pain, and they manifest it in so many different ways. But anger and rage and discontent and isolationism and all those things that make you feel like you're not a part of this world are so real. You are a part of this world. You don't know how you're going to contribute 25, 30 years later. I didn't know. I thought I'd go from my story right into a movie or a series. I still believe that. Hospice in mind, they're series ready. The hospice stories are ready for anybody to come along and do that, who's got a name. I'm telling real life stories, and people need to know about real life. They don't need politicians yapping endlessly, weeks and months dragging on. No, they need to be making some decisions now to help people. I shall say shalom, I love you. Shalom, hello, Lisa. Shalom, hello, goodbye. And shalom, peace. This chapter to me was one of the most important ones, because here it is 25 years later, and you're dealing with pain. The subject's coming up a lot on TV, isn't it? Pain. Don't mask it. Don't hide from it. Get help. You can talk to someone, even if it's someone finally in your family or it's a friend. Don't feel you're going to be rejected. Don't feel that you're going to be treated with disrespect. Don't. That person you talk to might just give you a hug and say, come with me. I have a place where you can go, that you're not going to be in that kind of pain. Doesn't mean physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual. They all hurt. God bless you all. Share with someone my stories. Please continue to pray that someone comes along who wants it, who wants what I have to give to the world. Please pray for that. And also, as I say, I'll read my health department article probably early in the morning, and we will get it on YouTube and back on my website. But there are still 2 interviews on the oral health HIV posts. God bless all of you again. Shalom and thank you. Be kind. Be patient. Call someone. You might be saving their life. I love you all so much. I know I'm talking to all the yous out there. I've met so many great people. You matter to me. You matter. Keep your messages if they're private. Don't post them on Facebook. Post them to me on Messenger or my email, which is on my contact page. Shalom. I shall finish, and I thank you.